is recording. Then we're going to put... This is Uwu 2 Wash and Cure Station. This is the Halot Mage from Creality. And this is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and I have been asked to review the new Halot Mage Pro, the 8K machine that is offered by Creality 3D printing company. This machine boasts a hyper speed 170mm per hour printing speed, something called a Dynax motion, whatever that is, a 10.3-inch 8K LCD screen, smart resin refill and withdrawal, as well as a smart air purifier, and this really fancy orange flip cover. Welcome to Halot Mage series of 3D printers. Choose the language. The Halot Mage has something called epoch making hyper speed. And what the hell does that mean to a normal person? It means that this machine prints at 170mm per hour, which is 3 to 5 times faster than the competition, whilst still being able to keep the details, which is magic indeed.
Just read it, just say, I will be using Uwu 2 to...
Okay. And in this video, I will be using Uwu 2 to cure the prints from Halot Mage. Connecting to Wi-Fi. It connected to... That was quick. Stop! Let's just be serious for a minute. Creality obviously sent me this machine, and in theory, it is the internet, so you can believe whatever you want to believe. However, they did say to me that they wanted their review to be unbiased and fair. Now, of course, I'm an extremely honest person, probably due to my background, but I'm definitely going to give you my opinions on this machine right meow. So Halot Mage is designed to be a fast 3D printer. It's a revolutionary printer. Essentially, it prints 3 to 5 times faster than most printers. This is fantastic. The only thing that I can see with that is that printing faster doesn't necessarily mean your prints will look better. So I have noticed some very slight stress marks or wear marks on the prints from printing really fast. Does this mean that I wouldn't print fast? No, there is a very good purpose for a machine like this. And the purpose is research and development, or even if you're just making something and you need to check that it fits, you can chuck it out in the machine in a couple of minutes, literally a couple of minutes. And this speeds up your research and development, which, if we all know anything about researching and developing, the most time-consuming part is waiting for bits to come out of the machine so you can test them. A very important piece of information when I'm looking at printers is how small is the resolution on this machine. And by how small, I'm probably using the words wrong, but what I mean is, can it go down below 30 microns? That is because I print at 0.03mm layer height. And for me to be able to actually make use of that layer height, I need the microns resolution of the screen to kind of match that or be better. And this machine boasts 29.7 microns of resolution. This is really good. Now, I've used machines in the past that have auto-feeding systems on them, and none of them have worked. Not a single one of them have worked. However, this machine actually works. I'm not really sure what they did differently, but you can auto-feed and you can also auto-withdrawal. That means you can empty or fill your vat while you're printing. Not that you'd want to empty it while you're printing, but it's very helpful for a machine that prints really fast to be able to refill itself as it goes. This function can be turned off and on inside of the printer. Something else that I definitely feel like we should talk about is the flip lid. And I thought I was gonna hate this, however, I actually really like this. It is really helpful to be able to lift that up with one hand and it stays there. I don't have to move the thing and put it on the floor or anywhere else I could find a space when I'm working with a lot of things around me. That is very irritating. However, this flip lid is really fantastic. I actually really like this idea. There is something I want to talk about, and that is the air filtration system. And yes, you have an air filtration system. I think, in my opinion, this only comes from the internet. This is people who know not that much about printing. When the product market research developers go out to look for information for what they would put in their printer or their next version of the printer, I feel like a lot of people are very wary about the fumes from 3D printing. Now, I just want to say this. If you are 3D printing, you should probably be printing in a ventilated area. No amount of using an air purifier is going to change that, in my opinion anyway. Maybe there is some data suggesting otherwise. In my opinion though, that air purifier should have been replaced with a heater. Or maybe you give us an option to put in heater or air purifier. Or maybe you offer an option of a heater as well. Out of all the features that I've had on 3D printers, the one thing I'm missing is a heater. These things don't print in the middle of winter. In my studio alone, it gets down to -3, -5 degrees Celsius. You are not able to print in those temperatures, and a heater would solve 99% of those problems. Now we need to move on to the Uru 2, which is the washing cure station from Creality. This machine worked really well for me from the start. It has a massive bucket, so you can clean out really large prints. It also has a really large volume for you to stick massive prints into the machine and cure them as well. The only thing that I have an issue with, there is some kind of light at the back which senses when the cover is over the top. I don't know what this light is looking for, but it doesn't like the cover. In the first week, it was great. After a couple more tries and opening and closing, because Halot Mage prints so much, it stopped working. And the only way for me to get it to work now is to kind of like move the hood around a little bit to try and figure out where the place is that it works. There is a load of light leak at the bottom when I'm using that machine now, because to make that friggin' switch work at the back, I have to move the hood in a really weird place. Everything else about the machine is fantastic. It's a washing cure station. There isn't anything magic about a bucket that has a spinning magnet in the middle of it. As for the looks of it, it looks fantastic. If you stuck it next to your machine, it would look great. The only thing I would like to see is something done with that switch on the back. I'm not really sure what you need to do, but maybe it needs an RFID tag, something different. This doesn't work, at least in my case. Back to Halot Mage and what it 3D prints like. The prints are extremely fast. I was bashing out 20 little miniature characters in around 2 hours, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on the height of them and how big their guns were. Now I'm going to show you a load of miniatures that I printed, and this was printed over literally an afternoon and a day the next day. This is no more than a day and a half's worth of printing, and this, to my opinion, is a lot of printing, and the quality is not actually that bad. The one thing you got to be aware of is the machine is 8K enabled. This means it has an extremely high resolution. I mostly tested the speeds of this machine because in my case, I would probably use this machine for research and development when I'm making tanks, when I'm making parts that need to fit together, and I just need to check if everything's working. I can bosh them out really quick on this machine, but it's diverse enough for me to lower my layer height and print some really highly detailed models. Now again, I'd like to reiterate that Creality definitely did send me this machine for free. You can choose to believe my biasness or my unbiasedness. However you want to take it, I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm just delivering you the information, giving you a video, some content to watch, and in return you should go click the like button, share it with your gran, and leave some words in the little square box that YouTube gives you to leave words in. I'm extremely ill. I don't know what's happened. Probably too many people have seen me in my shop, and this has made me sick. And so before I fall off this chair out of pure exhaustion, I would like to say one last special thanks to my patrons who helped make these videos happen and keep the lights blinding my eyeballs. And this week we got a couple new patrons. I'd like to thank them right now. Derek Sargent, Neil Delaney, Andre Hoffman, Derek McCartan, Brandon B, and Michael McCarthy. Thank you, my dudes. Because of your assistance over on Patreon, I'm able to keep these lights blinding my eyeballs, and I promise I will get back to making a couple more secret videos for the Patreons as soon as I'm over this freaking bug or whatever it is that I have. One other thing I totally have to mention is that Creality did give me some links to put in the description. Those links, if you buy from them, you will be supporting the channel with a small percentage given back to the channel. Something like this is a really huge thing for content creators, and people and companies like Creality are really good people for doing that. One of the things I've known about Creality, they've always supported their content community, and this is a great thing. Hopefully, if you are interested in this machine or the washing cure or the resins, have a look in the description and click the link and buy some stuff to support the channel. Now, I am definitely dying. I might fall off this chair before I get to say goodbye. If you don't like that, I certainly don't like it, but I don't really care. You should just off. I think I'm gonna die.